Hi, my name is Nakoi and my master topic is diabetes. So nowadays, the hottest topic we are discussing is weight losing. People want to be skinny, people want to have a better shape. Why do people want that? Well, because maybe that they will think better shape and skinnier are better looking than fat. Well, however, skinnier is better than fat because they can avoid many health problems, and one of them is diabetes. So, what is a diabetes? First come to my mind. When I was little, I think my parents told me that diabetes is people who eat too much sugar and they don't want me to eat too much candy. So they say that. So I have a mind that came to me about what is diabetes. And diabetes is a metabolism disorder that our body cannot function with glucose. And glucose is a sugar that is a major energy source from our cells and organs. Well, there are two types of diabetes, and their names are very easy to know. The first type is type 1, and the second type is type 2. And here are some facts about diabetes. So diabetes are the seventh top leading cause of death in the United States. And in 2013, there was approximately 382 millions of people who suffer in diabetes in our world, and a total number of 234,051 people die from diabetes. That's a lot of people. So the cause of diabetes, how diabetes start? Well, genetic. You cannot all blame you that because it might can pass down from an ancestor, or your body is natural born that cannot produce insulin or does not function with insulin well, and extra weight or obesity because our body will release a chemical that can destabilize the metabolic system and our cardiovascular system. Too much sugar in your liver. So we know that liver is where we produce glucose. So when we have a low sugar, when we can't think well, and our liver will produce glucose to maintain what our body needs from glucose. And once it gets to an average, our liver, normal people's liver will will release the glucose to produce. But however, people suffering diabetes or natural born that their liver will not stop. They will just keep producing, and at the end, there's too much glucose in their body. And diabetes is bad communication with ourselves because most of our food break down into glucose. So when glucose enters to the bloodstream, where we use glucose for energy and growth. However, if our body do not produce insulin, then glucose cannot be taken into our cells. So here are the type 1 diabetes. For the professional name of type 1 diabetes is insulin-dependent diabetes. Why do scientists call insulin-dependent diabetes? Because for type 1 patients who suffer in type 1 diabetes, they cannot produce insulin. Their body do not produce any of the insulin. So this is why we call it insulin-dependent diabetes. And what is an insulin? Well, insulin is a hormone that is produced by pancreas. So as soon as after eating pancreas, it automatically produces insulin. And insulin will bring glucose to blood cells, and this is how we drop our blood levels. So for type 1 diabetes, people who suffer in diabetes who have type 1 diabetes is only 10%. And once people suffering type 1 diabetes, they have to inject insulin into their body, and then they mainly inject it from their stomach. And type 1 diabetes is lifetime. It cannot occur. So at the final stage, you cannot put any nettle in your stomach anymore. So you have to go to the hospital for the rest of your life. And here is type 2 diabetes. Well, type 2 diabetes is a common one that happens in 90% of diabetes patients. Well, the good news is the type 2 diabetes can be controlled by the treatment that I will show you for the rest of the slides. So type 2 diabetes is not like type 1. Type 2 diabetes are people who can produce insulin, but they are not enough. And their insulin does not function properly with cells. Well, here are the symptoms of diabetes. The diabetes symptoms is not very hidden. It shows from our body easily. So when you have these symptoms, you should go to hospital and check. First of all, you will be very thirsty no matter how many water you drink. Second, you have to go to bathroom longer time than before. So because of the sugar problem, you either will get a blurry vision, you can see clear, or numbness to your feet and hands, or wounds that don't heal. When you get cut from anything, your wounds cannot heal, and you will feel exhausted, you feel tired all the time, and being irritable that you will have allergy or you'll be sensitive. Well, the treatment for diabetes is very easy, and this is the treatment, and you can call to avoid diabetes. So losing weight. Weight dropping for only 7% to 10% of your weight can cut your risk of type 2 diabetes in half. And exercise, and according to the researchers from Imperial College London, reported in journal Diabetologia, and they found out that drinking 1 can of soda per day will increase your risk of getting a diabetes of 22%. And exercise more. Moving muscle using insulin. 30 minutes of brisk walking each day will cut your risk by almost a third. And eat right. Avoid highly processed carbs, sugar drinks, and chants, and saturated fat, and also limit red meat and processed meat. And last but not least, quit smoking. Work with a doctor to avoid gaining weight, so you don't create one problem by solving another. Therefore, as a result, that I think diabetes is a very harmful disease. It can cause you to death, and between death, you suffer a lot. And thank you very much. And this is my presentation of diabetes. Here is the works cited.